Marvel Rivals has 6 different forms of currency, and in today's video I'm going to be going over each one, how they can be used, and whether or not I think they even need to exist in the first place. So without wasting any more of time, let's jump straight in. So Marvel Rivals has been out for just over half a year. The game launched with 3 unique types of currency, and since then has gained 3 more. These consist of lattice, units, chrono tokens, costume coins, unstable molecules, and accessory points. We're going to start off by talking about units, as they're pretty much the primary currency of Marvel Rivals. Units are completely free to earn through various events and challenges, and they can be spent on a multitude of items. You can buy skins from the store, you can purchase nameplates, you can get your name in-game changed. There is plenty of these to go around, and you can spend them on quite a large amount of items. If you play the game semi-regularly, there's a pretty large chance you've been able to unlock a decent amount with these units without needing to spend any money on the game. However, there is unfortunately a few things that units cannot purchase, such as the Battle Pass. If you want to acquire a Battle Pass in Marvel Rivals, you need Lattice, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. Lattice is the premium currency of Marvel Rivals, essentially the game's equivalent to V-Bucks. And the price of Lattice is pretty similar to other free-to-play games in the industry too. For example, 1000 Lattice is going to set you back about £8.49, which is pretty similar to Fortnite's $6.99 for 1000 V-Bucks. You can use Lattice to purchase all of the same things that you can buy with units too, and let's say for example there's a premium skin you want on the store that costs 2,200, you can combine both of your Lattice and units together in order to make that purchase, which is pretty cool. Lattice is pretty much strictly a premium currency, so they're not really handing out too much of this for free, though you can occasionally earn a very limited supply through the free tracks on the Battle Pass. Of course, the conversion of Lattice to units is pretty much 1-to-1, so again, any of those premium skins, you're better off just saving up your units if possible. The only Lattice you can earn is through the Battle Pass, and it is usually on the premium tiers, so you basically have to spend it to earn it, and you don't even earn the same amount back. With Season 0, 1, and 2, the currency throughout that Battle Pass is divided between Lattice and units, meaning you get about 600 of each. Technically, that means you do end up making more from the Battle Pass than what you spent on it. However, since that can't go towards the next Battle Pass as you won't have enough, it almost incentivizes you to buy things in the store. Speaking of the Battle Pass, of course, the next currency is Chrono Tokens. And yes, these do definitely count as a currency. Chrono Tokens, just like units, are completely free. You unlock them by completing challenges and as rewards on events. And these Chrono Tokens go towards unlocking items on the Battle Pass. Each Battle Pass page is going to cost you about 1,600 Chrono Tokens each, but of course you can buy all of the items individually. You can fast track Battle Pass progress by using Lattice, but since the pass itself never expires once purchased, there's not really any reason to do this, especially if you know you're going to play the game regularly. Now, unfortunately, there isn't an infinite supply of Chrono Tokens available at any given time, as you can only unlock these, of course, again, through things such as challenges and events. So once you've completed all of your challenges and completed all of the available events, that well of Chrono Tokens is going to dry up very quickly, and you'll be sat there waiting for more to become available, so you can either continue to progress the Battle Pass, or if you beat the pass, you can actually convert 1,000 Chrono Tokens into 100 units, and this is repeatable. I think this is a pretty cool feature, but if you're playing the game relatively casual and not on it all the time, it's not very likely you'll actually reach this point. I do have my issues with the progression in Marvel Rivals, but that is a topic I will save for a separate video because I have a lot to talk about there. And that is of course amongst the Battle Pass itself, the events, and a multitude of other things. But anyways, the next currency in Marvel Rivals is costume coins. Again, these are another thing that are strictly limited to events, and there isn't exactly a lot of these going around. Costume coins can be spent on a limited selection of available skins, such as Superior Iron Man or the movie skin for Wolverine. There has only been a small handful of these made available thus far, with the latest being in the Venom Bubble Pop event. These are another thing that I do think are quite cool. I do think it's a nice little incentive to get people playing the game, and they do feel quite rewarding as it lets you access some of the skins that you would normally have to either spend money for or do a considerable amount of grinding to unlock. But unfortunately, after costume coins, this is where I think the newer currencies get a little bit silly. First of all, we have unstable molecules. These were added alongside some of the costume recolors, and there is now 2 ways to acquire them. Originally, you could only get unstable molecules by purchasing them with Lattice. Now this, I think, is really silly. If the only way to get unstable molecules was to purchase them with Lattice, then why not just make it Lattice? Why was there a need to add another currency that can only be spent on costume recolors and can only be acquired by spending one of those other currencies. It just felt oddly cluttered. However, you can now earn unstable molecules through the battle pass, which is cool, except for the fact that there is no recolors available for any of the battle pass skins. In fact, if you want to spend these unstable molecules, you're going to need to buy one of the small handful of premium shop skins that have a recolor available, such as the recent Summer Jeff skin or the Malice skin for Sue Storm. Now, I think if you're going to add this additional currency as a filler item in the Battle Pass, then really you should make recolors available for all of the Battle Pass skins, which would seem easy enough given the recent season is themed around the Phoenix and Symbiotes. Why not give all of the Symbiote skins a recolor based on Anti-Venom? This would give unstable molecules much more of a purpose. I think additionally you should be able to spend these on the basic character recolors as well, such as the Chasm skin for Spider-Man, since they themselves are just recolors of the base skin. Otherwise, this just feels like an egregious way to try and get people to spend additional money after already purchasing the Battle Pass. Now, I do think it is pretty likely they will add more recolors as time goes on. They already have added a few new ones with the release of Season 3, but I do think some of those Battle Pass skins should have been included in that lineup, because unlocking unstable molecules feels completely pointless and a waste of my Chrono Tokens if there's nothing I can spend them on right now without needing to spend more money, mostly on skins for characters I don't even play. Going forward, I think if unstable molecules are going to be a mainstay in upcoming passes, then realistically every skin that releases should also release with an additional color palette that you can spend these unstable molecules on. I think it's cool that there is a way to earn them now that isn't just spending money, but again, when there is such a limited pool of characters with color palette changes available and ultimate effects available, as right now I think there is only 2 that have changeable ultimate effects, and this is of course only a recent feature, then I just don't see a purpose for these being in the Battle Pass. Right now they just feel like a filler item that's just going to be gathering dust in my inventory as I currently have no way to spend them. And that brings us to our final currency of Marvel Rivals, the latest addition being Accessory Points. Accessory Points I see no reason in existing. I really don't understand why these accessories specifically needed their own currency and this couldn't have just been units or lattice. But to give a quick rundown on what Accessory Points are, they're the new currency that can be earned through playing matches, though you are capped at 700 points a week. These are spent on the new accessories, which are basically Marvel Rivals' equivalent of weapon charms. They dangle off the back of your character and also possess a unique effect that will pop up when you get a kill in-game. And although these I do think are a pretty neat addition, I have 2 problems, one of which is what I already mentioned. The way that you acquire Accessory Points is a little bit silly as you are capped at 700 a week. All the accessories cost roughly 1,300 points each, which means you're going to be required to play the game for at least 2 weeks if you want to earn just a single one of these accessories. And then my second issue is that upon unlocking them, you are restricted to the characters that you can use them on. For example, the MJ plush can only be used with Spider-Man, or the little Venom Orochi plushie that you can unlock for Psylocke can only be used for her, which is insane because it comes with a unique little Venom effect that pops up on your screen when you get a kill that I can't even use with Venom and only associated with Psylocke for some reason. Really, the changes I would make here is make accessories available with units. There is no need for the accessory point system. And also let me use these accessories with any character. There's no real reason to not allow that. It's just a restriction in the customization just for the sake of it. I don't dislike the addition of these accessories per se. Like I said, I think they're pretty fun, but they're just so restrictive. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to match these with other characters. Again, especially since there's a relatively limited selection in comparison to the amount of characters that are available in Marvel Rivals. And I also then have to grind for 2 weeks to unlock just one of these accessories that I again can't use on all of the available characters. Out of every currency that is currently available in Marvel Rivals, accessory points are the most useless. There is genuinely no reason for them to be a part of the game. I have similar feelings about unstable molecules too. I don't see why these can't just be purchased with units or lattice. I don't think we need to have an extra currency available specifically just to buy recolors or additional effects for ultimate abilities. They can also then only be used with certain skins that are only available in the store. It just makes the customization and currency systems feel so incredibly cluttered when they really don't need to be. It really makes some elements of Marvel Rivals feel like a mobile game. Personally, if given the choice, I would remove both of the unstable molecules and accessory points and just convert it all into units. I really think you should just be able to buy both of these things with the other currency that you can already earn in-game, or if they really want to restrict some of these things behind a paywall, then just make it available with Lattice. Costume coins I really don't have an issue with. These are pretty limited anyway and just restricted to special events. Chrono Tokens are a currency, but they are restricted more so to the progression of the Battle Pass system. So as a whole, these are fine. My issue isn't with the Chrono Tokens, it's with the progression itself in Marvel Rivals, but as I've mentioned, I'll save that topic for another day. And then of course you have your units and Lattice, which I think are both fine. These really could just be one thing, but of course I understand it is a free-to-play game and they're going to want people to spend money. So I can understand why something like the Battle Pass would be locked behind a paywall and pretty much impossible to be able to earn for free with units. I just hope accessory points are the last additional currency for this game, because I think it's getting very overwhelming very quickly. And as I've already said a couple times today, a couple of these currencies that have been added have no reason to exist. But anyways, that's all from me today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you okay with the sheer abundance of different currencies available in Marvel Rivals? Is there any changes you'd make to the unstable molecules or accessory points? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.